Something about his manners. Oh, I know now. He didn't walk up with that how you doing. When he came in, he said there's a lot of girls I can do it, but I can't with her. Doing forever in a minute. That summer night.
Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. If you're already subscribed, welcome back, my darling. But if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, please. And while you're down there subscribing, because I know that you will. While you're down there subscribing, also turn your notification bell on for all notifications to become part of the Morgan Shay and notify again. So today we're long overdue for a story time. You guys already know what it is, what the tea is, and this is a topic that your girl can't really talk about that much, if I'm being honest. This is one that I have to take breaks in between. It gives me loads of anxiety. And this is a person that's no longer here, so I want you guys to know that. I've had lots of questions about my stalker. Lots. This is a huge era of my life. And today, I'm going to introduce to you guys Betty. Betty and Waldo. Waldo was my stalker for years. And eventually, Waldo got a girlfriend who was just as sick in the head as him. Her name was, we're going to call her Betty. This is after I've already been stalked for a long time. I would say probably a year after I've now come to realize who Betty is, which this is important. The way I found out about Betty is she walked up to me as I was walking outside of a Walmart. So she lets me know that Waldo had been following me in the Walmart and she wanted to introduce herself to me because I'm very important to Waldo. This is the way that Waldo was. Waldo thought that like I really wanted him there, even though I had made it abundantly clear that I didn't want Waldo there. Waldo still thought that I wanted him there. Guys, to be honest, and I don't think it's only just like where I'm from. I think that this is like in general with stalkers. Police don't do shit. Guys, I also want you to keep in mind that there is a lot added to this situation that I was now aware of and the way we were handling things that I'll get into at a later time. Just please keep that in mind that there's stuff keeping out for other stories. And in this time, I really felt like I'm going to get killed or abducted before anything is done to this man. Like he would go to jail, but he would just get right back out. That's how I was introduced to Betty. Okay, we're going to fast forward about a month and a half, and me and one of my friends, we're going to call her Tiffany, we're going to a casino. And we were going by ourselves, just us girls. I was talking to a guy at the time. She was too. They were not coming with us. It was just me and her. And we were going out of state. We get to Mississippi to the casino. We check in. We're having a great time. The very first night, we decide we're going to go play some blackjack. We go down to play some blackjack, and I spot Waldo. Guys, anytime that I would spot Waldo, it would ruin whatever I was doing. And this man followed me to other states. He would follow me to Dollywood. He would follow me to the mall. He would follow me to church. He would follow me on dates. He would follow me to the bar, to the club. This man would follow me everywhere. And I was just terrified all the time. So as soon as I spot him, I tell Tiffany, my stalker's here. All of my friends knew about Waldo. Most of them had met Waldo. That's how often he would make an appearance. So I'm like, fuck, Waldo's here. This is ruined. I want to go home. Like off the rip. I'm like, I want to go home. This is already ruined. I don't even want to be here. I'm not going to have any fun. I'm not going to drink because I know me when I drink. And I'm afraid that I might let my guard down and he'll end up taking me. Tiffany is like really reassuring. She's like, girl, just calm down. And she walks over to Waldo and threatens to call the police. I see him get into his truck outside of the casino because I walk outside. I'm like a nervous wreck. And they walk outside. He drives away. Now, I tell Tiffany, I'm like, girl, just because he drove away, now I'm even more scared because now I don't know where he is. We're out of our state. We're not even nowhere close to home. I would rather go home. She talks me into staying at the casino and having a good night. What we do decide to do is to change casinos. So we were at one casino. We told them the situation. We check out and we go to another casino. Everything's fine. I don't see Waldo's car, which I made her drive around like 6 times. Had no clue what Betty drove. Didn't see Betty in his truck, so I didn't think Betty was there. We go on about our night. We then decide to go back to try to play blackjack. We play blackjack for probably 2 hours, and we decide to go to a bar. This is where things go wrong. We get ready. We head out to go to the bar. We get to the bar. We're probably there an hour, and I look at Tiffany in the eyes, and I say, "Girl, I've got a vibe. I've got a very weird vibe." She's like, "Girl, you're just still, you're still tripping from earlier. It's fine." Which I will say, most of the time, if Waldo was in the area and Waldo wanted to see me, he would not like disappear and come back. He would stay there because he did not think what he was doing was weird. He thought like what he was doing was like wanted by me, if that makes sense. So I'm like, you know what, you're right, because it's not like Waldo to like disappear and then come back. Like he would still be here. So I turn into Monica, which is my alter ego. I have several of them. Monica is a good time. She's here for the party. She's all about the vibes, right? I step out on the porch after we've been there for maybe 2 hours to say goodnight to my boyfriend. He's like checking up on me. He knew that Waldo had been there, and he's like, "I really feel like I should drive down there." And when he says this, I kind of like pop out of my like drunken haze. And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "I don't know. I just have a weird vibe." And I was like, fuck. I had a fucking weird vibe earlier. And Tiffany told me that I was just being like over anxious, like that everything's fine. He's like, "I think I'm going to come." I'm like, "Well, fuck. Even if you left right now, like, bitch, it would be tomorrow. Like, the fuck. The fuck, should I leave?" Like, he really gets me like to tripping. And he's like, "Go back to the casino, please. Like, please. I want you to go into your room. I want to know that you're in your room." He's like, "I'm not going to bed until I know that you're in your room." And this particular boyfriend was there for like the biggest chunk of Waldo. So he really knew like how Waldo played. This is going to be a whole separate story time. But he was there for the time that Waldo literally was on the same cruise as us. True story. Like stuck on a fucking boat with this motherfucker. I go back to, and the thing is, guys, like you have to understand that at this point we had dealt with the fucking police so much and nothing had fucking happened, that at this point we just kind of had our own ways of like dealing with it. Whether it be my family, whether it be my friends, whether it be the guys in my life, which like I said, this particular boyfriend was there for the biggest majority of Waldo. Long story short, we go back to the casino. We get in the casino, we both take showers. I am in the bathroom brushing my teeth. Ugh, I hate this. I'm in the bathroom brushing my teeth, okay? And I hear a knock at the door. I immediately know, like in my gut, that this is Waldo. I open the bathroom door and I whisper, "Don't open it." At this point, Tiffany is like maybe a whole foot from the door. If you're familiar with hotel rooms, like this wasn't no like presidential suite or anything, like it was small. And the last thing that I wanted to do was to let him inside of the room. So she peeks through the hole and she's like, "It's not Waldo," and opens it. It was Betty. I see, as she starts to open the door, I see part of Betty's face and I slam it shut. And I'm like, that is fucking Betty. That is his girlfriend. So I screamed through the door and I said, "I'm calling the police. Leave me the fuck alone." Like I get real angry because that's how you had to deal with these people. Like you had to be stern with them and let them know like your presence is not wanted. This is not cool. I'm not down with this shit. I immediately lock the door, go over and call front desk. Like this is a situation that we've been through. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been through Waldo doing this. Now he has a girlfriend who's into this type of shit too. Like the fuck? I knew that my boyfriend was already like on the verge of driving to Mississippi from Tennessee. So I call front desk. They're looking for them on the cameras. I call my boyfriend. I'm like, hey, Betty just knocked on our hotel room door. Tiffany didn't know that it was Betty. She opened the door. I slammed it in her face. I called front desk. We're leaving first thing in the morning, because at this point, I'm not having any fun. At this point, like, the fun is over. He's like, okay, well, good, because I've been on my way for about 4 hours. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, stay where you are. Like, do not leave without me. I don't want you, like, stopping at any rest areas without me there. He said, I left 4 hours ago. Okay, so I'm going to speed it up a little bit, because the rest is just, like, us talking to the front desk, just to see if, like, they found them, whatever. Like, nothing really happens for the next, like, 5 hours. Now, I want to let you know that my boyfriend does end up showing up, and we start to doze off because he's drove all through the night. I've been up, like, petrified. My poor friend Tiffany, she was like, what the fuck? You know, we were just wanting, like, a girls' weekend. And it's also important, just for Tiffany's case, she was thinking about breaking up with someone at this point, which she did later do. And it was going to be a big decision. Like, they lived together and they had mutual things together. So it was like, this was a big weekend for her. And so it is important for me to say that. She was super agitated at this whole situation, but I told her she wasn't as familiar with this situation as, like, my best friends. She was a friend of mine, but she wasn't as familiar with this situation. And I just had to explain to her, like, it has to be handled this way. If it's not, and you let your guard down at all, he will take advantage of that little bit of guard that you've let down. And she understands, you know, and of course she's going to watch this, and, you know, she understands it more now. But at this time, she was still fresh and new to the whole situation. We get a call from the front desk. They say, you know, Morgan, just want to let you know that the police have apprehended Waldo and Betty. They were asleep in a car in the parking lot. I'm like, a car? So, preface of this story, a little bit of a backtrack here. Me and Tiffany, on the way down, we noticed this green, like, Mercury older car. It was like a Mercury, I'll have it on the screen. I think it's like a Mercury Grand Marquis or something. It looks like a police car. It followed us literally the whole way to Mississippi. We stopped at a rest area on the way down there, and I remember thinking in my head, how fucked would it be if that car was Waldo? And I did not see Waldo in the car. I didn't. I seen a woman, but I couldn't make out who it was. But this car followed us the whole fucking way, like literally the whole way. And come to find out, that was Betty's car, and he drove in his truck. So they followed us from God only knows where all the way to Mississippi. He probably, like, started stalking me that day and just went wherever I was going, and we ended up driving to fucking Mississippi. But yeah, that is the time that my stalker followed me and stalked me all the way to another state. And the next story time is going to be about the time that he stalked me on a cruise. I still don't know to this day whether it was something that he actually planned or whether he found out I was going on this cruise and went to this cruise as well. I didn't know this person in real life. I had no acquaintances that knew this person. There would be no way that this man would know, because it's important to know that after a while of Waldo, I was very careful about what I said on Snapchat. I was very careful about what I put on Facebook. I was very careful about everything. And this man would still know where I was going grocery shopping, where I'm going on vacation, what am I doing today. Tiffany was upset with me for a while because that whole thing went awry, which she later realized, you know, wasn't my fault at all. And she was like, I'm sorry, I was just, like, really needing to, like, make this decision, and I really needed to have, like, one-on-one talks with you, and we couldn't really do that because of the situation. So, Tiffany, I know you're going to watch this. I love you so much. You made the right call. You know you did. And I thank you so much for fucking being there with me when this shit happened, because, girl, you already know how I am when this shit would happen when I was alone. Like, it was so bad. I would literally call up my fucking, like, cable guy and be like, bitch, you forgot a cord. Like, oh my God. I hope you guys did enjoy this story time. Do be sure that you do like this video to let me know that you do enjoy my story times. Also, if you haven't done so already, do be sure that you do subscribe. If you would like to keep up with me on a more personal note, be sure to follow me on social media. It is all linked down below. Every platform that I'm active on is linked below. Until the next time, my precious baby darlings. Bye, guys.
You